POTUS Trump scoops New York Times hits liberal paper hard before they can publish latest Mueller leak by Christina Layla for the GatewayPundit.com. On Saturday, the fake news New York Times published all 20 pages of a confidential memo Trump's lawyers sent Robert Mueller in January. On Saturday, the New York Times published a confidential memo written by Trump's lawyers to Mueller dated January 29, 2018. Mr. Trump's lawyers hand-delivered a 20-page confidential letter to Mr. Mueller in January. The letter was a response to his request that Mr. Trump agree to be questioned about allegations that he committed obstruction of justice. The lawyers argued that Mr. Mueller does not need to talk to the president and laid out a series of claims that foreshadow a potential fight over a subpoena were the special counsel to try to force the president to testify. The Times obtained a copy of the letter as well as an earlier one sent to Mr. Mueller in June of 2017. A month after he was appointed, which argues that there is no statutory constitutional basis for any obstruction charge based on Mr. Trump's firing of James B. Comey as FBI director. The intro of the letter via the New York Times. The letter will address the recent request by your office for an interview with the president and our discussions with you concerning the same on November 21st, 2017 and January 8th, 2018. In our conversation of January 8th, your office identified the following topics as areas you desire to address with the president in order to complete your investigation on the subjects of alleged collusion and obstruction of justice. 1. Former National Security Advisor Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, information regarding his contacts with Ambassador Kislyak about sanctions during the transition process. 2. Lieutenant General Flynn's communications with Vice President Michael Pence regarding those contacts. 3. Lieutenant General Flynn's interview with the FBI regarding the same. 4. Then Acting Attorney General Sally Yates coming to the White House to discuss same. 5. The President's meeting on February 14, 2017 with then Director James Comey. 6. Any relevant information regarding former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. 7. The President's awareness of and reaction to investigations by the FBI, the House, and the Senate into possible collusion. 8. The President's reaction to Attorney General Jeff Sessions' recusal from the Russia investigation. 9. The President's reaction to former FBI Director James Comey's testimony on March 20th, 2017 before the House Intelligence Committee. 10. Information related to conversations with intelligence officials generally regarding ongoing investigations. 11. Information regarding who the President had conversations with concerning Mr. Comey's performance. 12. Whether or not Mr. Comey's May 3rd testimony led to his termination. 13. Information regarding communications with Ambassador Kislyak, Minister Lavrov, and Lester Holt. 14. The President's reaction to the appointment of Robert Mueller as special counsel. 15. The President's reaction with Attorney General Sessions as it relates to the appointment of special counsel. And 16. The statement of July 8, 2017 concerning Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting in Trump Tower. It is our understanding that the reason behind the request for the interviews is to allow the special counsel's office to complete its report. After reviewing the list of topics you presented, it is abundantly clear to the undersigned that all of the answers to your inquiries are contained in the exhibits and testimony that have already been voluntarily provided to you by the White House and witnesses, all of which clearly show that there was no collusion with Russia and that no FBI investigation was or even could have been obstructed. President Trump fired off a tweet shortly before the New York Times published the confidential memo from his lawyers. Trump asked if the DOJ or the Office of Special Counsel leaked his lawyers' letters to the New York Times. Trump tweeted, "There was no collusion with Russia, except by the Democrats. When will this very expensive witch hunt hoax ever end?" So bad for our country is the Special Counsel / Justice Department leaking my lawyer's letter to the fake news media. Should be looking at Dems' corruption instead. The president fired off his tweet before the New York Times dropped their piece. New York Times reporter Michael Schmidt complained the president tried to preempt them. The president tried to preempt us. Scoop: Trump's lawyers hand-delivered a 20-page confidential letter to Mueller in January. We have obtained it, and here is our story. Mueller's witch hunt has cost taxpayers over $17 million to date. Leaks about the Russia witch hunt have plagued President Trump the entire year Mueller has been conducting his unconstitutional witch hunt. Of course, this is all by design to undermine the president. And how do they word this? Trump's lawyers in confidential memo argue to head off a. In other words, they're trying to stop the freedom of the press. It's another hit piece. And first of all, what is it? What do the lawyers say? Unconstitutional. What do they want to do with the Constitution? Throw it in the garbage, right? So you get what I'm saying? It's a setup from the get-go, and all of a sudden, Mueller's team or whomever starts leaking this info to the New York Times. It is really disgusting. They don't have anything, but they want to keep this narrative going. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.